new ideas for growing. So this represents your container that you're growing in. This represents the stock. And you should have, depending on how big your plant is, you should have white little nubs probably going up it. Those are root starters. I don't know the technical name, but I could probably look it up. But we want to get this bag wrapped around it airtight below those as much as possible. I still got to go through and think of a way to secure them so that they don't grow. I mean, it doesn't matter if they do. You're just going to have to throw soil in there because why let them die? Those are going to be part of the second root system anyways, because we're gonna do air pruning with another video. So you get this as close as you can. You might have to go over them. No big deal. Just keep an eye on them. Throw some dirt in there. It ain't gonna hurt it. You got a plastic bag. Better than this one. Maybe something that's, I don't know, that's gonna last forever. You could put a little valve, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. We already got good soil. We got no bugs in it. We got no hoppling viroid. We ain't got none of that. And we're gonna tape this, maybe some plumber's tape. We want this as airtight as possible without crushing the stem or stopping it from doing its thing. So we get that on there. I got no other way to hold it because I'm holding my phone, but just remember airtight, okay? And then what we're gonna do is you don't have to put a valve on it. We're just gonna stick a hose in there, food grade, silicone, something that isn't gonna off gas with the lights, something that's UV, just look around. You just don't want nothing off gassing. So we're gonna put the hose in there and we're gonna blow air into this. So as we're blowing air in this, we're gonna either cool this down or warm this up. And I'm thinking most people are using LEDs, so they're probably gonna want to warm this area up. I'm not certain. I had no problem in my grow. I wasn't doing this, but this I think is pretty good because you're eliminating any kind of factor of getting bugs, except for this one right here. That and whatever's in your water. But we're gonna put the air in there, lowest part with all the little holes through the drainage. So it's gonna get air. And this air is gonna come from outside the grow room, away from the CO2 if we're running CO2. So this just gets air, but not just air. There's elements that we can think about. I mean, so you have the tube. Instead of using just a fan, we're going to use an air pump. And these do create heat. It's well known in running hydro. So we could use these to feed all those plants separately, blow air into the bag, and then we're going to poke holes on the top side so the air's got to go through and it's got to come up. So poke a bunch of little holes all over the place. So you got air blowing this way, you got air blowing this way, and then we go back to the hose again, and we're going to grab another one. And then this one's going to be the cooling for the plant. I would probably so you could technically, one of those air holes that you got going on, you could stick that one like a rod in there to hold it towards the plant, towards the bottom base of the plant. So it's, let's say the stem is inside one of those air holes that are blowing out. You just stick it in there and then have the hose real close to the plant. Like I'd stick it up inside of it. So it's blowing up and then it's hitting all the branches and probably ricocheting off and going all over the place. But we're not just going to do just cooler air. We might as well do cooler air and then go back to the green phase guy, get the regulator, and then with this small little black hose, we're going to slide it on into this one. So just kind of just make a little hole and slide it on in there. So as this thing is going up this stem, it's way back here mixing with all of them. So I would do one line going into that splitter. So we'll go back to that splitter. That one line that's going into this splitter, I would make a little hole and shove that black CO2 regulator exit hole in there. So then it just goes out splits out to all of them, and you send them off to the plants. So you're going to need 2 pumps, one for the root, one for the CO2 and the cooling effect. So I'm not certain on the moisture content of where you're going to get this cooler air outside the grow tent. I would go back to these again, and I'd get some of these, and I would place them in between it, just for added protection. But I think that I just came up with that, and I think that is great. No bugs. You just have to make it so it's accessible, so you could open it up to water, or somehow you could put a ring in there and like a little spout off. But it's a lot of work. But man, cooler. You definitely know you got separation of air for the roots, CO2, or sorry, you got air going just to the roots with no CO2 and all oxygen. Now, that's the thing I wanted to go on. So if you're putting that air intake in here, you could add more oxygen into it. I know that there's, from watching Mr. Wizard, I know there's a part of oxygen, but you could kind of think of, it could be kind of interesting. So then this is closed. We got that hose going up there with the cooler air and CO2 in it. You could go back to this air pump again, where we slid that one in there. We made our little incision inside this hose, and we tucked that CO2 one in there. You could do another one back here and have that one taking in, say, a little bit of air from, I would say something like different fermented fruits, vegetables, maybe wine. I thought that'd be kind of interesting. Well, there you go. I thought that'd be kind of fun to do.